Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Russia has confirmed one of its warships has been damaged in a Ukrainian attack on a Black Sea port. Footage purportedly showing a huge explosion in the port was shared by Ukrainian Air Force Commander Lieutenant General Mykola Oleshchuk. The images have not been independently verified, but satellite imagery from the 24th of December shows a ship at port in Feodosia that appears to be the same length as the Novocherkassk, a landing ship designed to transport troops, weapons and cargo to shore. The airstrike took place at Feodosia in Russian-occupied Crimea early on Tuesday morning. Russia's Ministry of Defense said the large landing ship was struck by Ukrainian aircraft carrying guided missiles. The head of the Ukrainian Air Force said earlier its warplanes had destroyed the ship. One person was killed in the attack, according to the Russian-installed head of Crimea. There is no let-up in Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, that's according to a UN official, after visiting a hospital struggling to treat the injured. Gemma Connell of the United Nations Humanitarian Agency said what she had seen at the Al-Aqsa hospital in central Gaza was absolute carnage. Many severely injured people could not be treated because the hospital was absolutely overloaded, she said. Israel's Prime Minister earlier vowed to intensify the fight against Hamas.
It's almost impossible to walk. Critical cases, doctors and nurses absolutely scrambling, people crying out that they need blood for their sons and daughter who are dying. There's almost nothing that this team can do, this very small clinical team can do to help all of these people. It's absolute chaos still. And actually, this is even after the hospital staff told us that the fighting has quieted down for the last few days. It's nonstop, 24 hours a day, serious and critical injuries coming in, and a very small staff to help them.
Police in France have arrested a man suspected of murdering his wife and 4 children in a knife attack early on Christmas Day. Their bodies were found on Monday night in a bloodied apartment in the town of Meux, 40 kilometers northeast of Paris. The family's 2 younger sons appeared to have been suffocated or drowned. Police detained the children's father at his residence in a nearby town. Russian President Vladimir Putin has welcomed the leaders of the CIS countries ahead of the informal summit in Russia's St. Petersburg. The various leaders arrived at the Pavlovsk Palace, where they were treated to a classical music concert. Armenian Prime Minister and the Azerbaijani President are expected to meet on the sidelines of the summit in St. Petersburg for the first time since Baku regained control of the territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. Several provinces in southern Thailand have been hit by severe flooding after days of heavy rain. In Narathiwat province, flooded streams overflowed onto roads, cutting off access to some of them. The widespread flooding affected thousands of households, and residents were advised to move their belongings to higher ground. Emergency services at 3 medical centres in Narathiwat were affected by the floods but were able to stay up and running as of Monday. 23 luxury cars that had been confiscated from crime organisations by Istanbul police have been turned into traffic police vehicles. The vehicles were given to Istanbul police in line with a court order. The confiscated vehicles, which include a Bentley, a Porsche and a Volvo, were painted white and blue with traffic police written on them. They were put on display in Istanbul, where the Interior Minister, Ali Yerilaki, inspected them.
The Prince of Wales has a key role in the coronation.
And a documentary about King Charles II and the behind-the-scenes moments of his coronation has been released.
To support the king as he prepares for his big day.
He is seen interacting with his son and grandchildren at Westminster Abbey at rehearsals ahead of the ceremony that took place in May.
Where's your ball, there?
Another clip from the film, called Charles III, The Coronation Year, shows the king off duty and walking around Balmoral with Queen Camilla.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.